Hello everybody and welcome back to another FTB Infinity Expert Skyblock edition. What is this, episode 4 already? Holy cow, we are just flying. Lots of good people on, but it's really late at night. It's already midnight. I might be a little crazy. It's fine. No big deal. Anyways, let's do a quick little recap. I'll probably be doing a lot of recaps like this because of I'm also streaming things. So I want to make sure everybody's up to date at the start of the videos. All right. So let's see. We built this beautiful stairway on stream. Again, you can check out the VODs and all that kind of stuff on the stream on my Twitch channel. Make sure you follow me there. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. That way you get notifications and all that kind of stuff. All right. This is basically our garden area. So when we go up these stairs, you will be able to see that we now have a beautiful little garden area up here with a coven witch. But, as you can see, we're progressing along with our garden. And I've started to mutate things, or crossbreed things. So we've gotten barley, rye, sweet potato, for example, here. And the whole goal of this is to work our way towards the watering can. Now, the watering can in this requires some steel or refined iron. It requires beet seeds, corn seeds, and kiwi seeds. So there's a lot of different crossbreeding and mutations that you do have to go through to get certain things. And that's where I've been doing most of this. So I just got poppy and I just got tomatoes, which is awesome. I already have corn right here. I have more rye, apparently. I could go plant those. But I do have a corn seed right here, and we got potato and poppy, and both of those are going to be able to crossbreed with other things and all that kind of stuff. Rye is right here. Very good. Now remember, when you have crop sticks on tilled soil, you do not need hydration at all. Now none of these are really leveled up or anything like that. They're all the basic seeds. But it's a great way to start, and I wanted to make sure I had resources that I could pull from, and then eventually we can grow them to be, 10, 10, 10 seeds and all that kind of stuff from AgriCraft, all right? One of the other things that I did on stream, and again, it's kind of going to be a fine line and a little bit of balance in terms of what I decide to do and all that kind of stuff. But we built our smeltery, and the smeltery is looking sharp in my opinion. A lot of design work done with it. Really tried to focus on the design of it. We got basically everything going all the way around. I'm going to need to add a little bit more lava to it. The backside's a little dull. And then here's our casting tables, and we have a couple of hoppers both going into this chest. All right, so whether you're using the basin or a gear or an ingot, it's all going to end up in this chest as an output for right now. Pretty sweet. I like it. You guys have probably seen a bazillion smelteries be made on camera. It's a standard 3x3 size. Nothing too crazy there. Again, if you do want additional, the VOD is available of that. Of course, we have this setup. I believe we had this for our bucket, but I can't recall. I'll have to double check. But we have our lava generation coming in with cobble in the world interaction upgrade, and going into a barrel, which is then getting distributed into the crucibles from Ex Nihilo. These guys are the guys that generate lava for us in the world. And then all of the lava is going into these stone barrels over here. And if I just simply pour water on top, it will create obsidian. There's other things that you can apply to lava, like redstone to make netherrack. You can apply skystone dust to make skystone, all that kind of stuff. All right. So very useful to have a nice setup of all of that. And then we just have the portable tank of lava. Over here, I've made an auto sieve right there. You can see it in the middle. It's kind of hard for me to get in there right now. Yeah, okay. We got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let's just remove it. Good. And now you can see the auto sieve here in the middle. If you click and see really quickly, it's basically full of power. And we have the 4 hobbyist steam engines all getting water from a liquid transfer node with a world interaction upgrade on it. And I'm just supplying it with some charcoal, burning down some trees type thing. And we are starting to sift through our goodies quite quickly overall. It's working great. And then all I have is a simple transfer node coming out to put all the goodies, for example, in our gravel chest. Or if we're sifting sand, I just alter the pipes. And dust, same. Overall, things are going quite well. Over here, let's see. I've also set up an experience tank with an XP drain from open blocks, and it's completely full. So we'd have to expand on that a little bit if we wanted more experience points. But anyways, this episode, we have a few things prepared and a few things to progress on. So let's get started right away. First things first, we have immersive engineering blast bricks. This is going to get us our blast furnace. 7 of them. You need 27 total. Now, I wouldn't mind moving these things around, but I think for right now, I just don't have the time to deal with that. So we're just going to place it down just like so and go from there. Now, the immersive engineering one is a little bit more unique from the Railcraft one because you only need a 3x3, the same size as the coke oven, but it does have to be completely solid, alright? And then what you need is your immersive engineering hammer. Where is my... There it is right there. And you run up to it and you can basically just right-click on the block, and there you go. You have your blast furnace up and operational. Now this guy is exactly as it sounds. We have a furnace that is going to make us some steel. That is the whole goal here, is to make some steel. So let's, without further ado, make some steel, right? So all you do, I'm going to use coal coke and a little bit of iron, and this is going to take quite some time. As you can see, the tick is very, very slowly, so we're getting this done right at the beginning of the episode. But that should make us steel, which steel can then be used for many different things. Things that are a requirement, basically. So that is great. That is one of the first steps that I wanted to get done here today. Obviously, we still have a ton more breeding and everything to go for plants. Using Clipper's fertilizer from forestry works as a bone meal, and it's just some sand and apatite. So we actually get a decent amount of apatite from sifting gravel, so we're good to go on that. Let's see. What else do we need to do? There are so many little things that we need to do. On the sword, we made tools. We made advanced tools, so we have cobalt pickaxe and all that kind of stuff, a cobalt matic, and a manual broadsword. I've added a little bit of quartz and lapis to it, just to get a little bit of luck and a little bit more damage. Obviously, we need a lot more than that to get things really up to speed overall. The next thing that we need to make is a thermionic fabricator. This guy is from forestry, and it's going to require a lot of gold. We need a sturdy casing, which requires a lot of bronze. That's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 bronze total. Now, bronze can be made in the smeltery, and it's 3 copper to 1 tin. Yeah, we do have tin. Good. So let's grab... Oh, what is that going to make? That's going to make 4, 8, 12. Let's go 16 and 20. So 15 and 5. I think that gives us 20, if I'm not mistaken. We'll just grab the hopper here. And in the meantime, we can throw in... Oh, we don't need the hopper. Beautiful. Okay. This guy is set to on, because we don't want it to auto pour out until it actually blends together, depending on the different cooking speeds of each item. Alright? Then from there, we need... That's just enough for the sturdy casing. We're going to need some gold. Badly. Do I have some? I do have some in here. Okay, good. We've got a little bit of gold. We've got some crushed gold and some powdered gold here. Let's quickly craft up a little bit of this. and get a little bit more gold in process. This is going to be very much necessary for this thermionic fabricator. And gold seems to be one of my biggest restrictions at this point in time in the mod pack. Gold and coal, actually. I have a feeling I'm going to be restricted on diamonds very soon, though. That sounds like a thing that will probably happen. Alright, good. So we got about 9 more, so that's 18 more gold. Remember, it doubles in the smeltery. And I believe I still have one over here. Yeah, so 20 more gold. That should be enough to get us going. But I need to double check something. That's exactly what I was afraid of. So the iron chest, this guy here, is pretty straightforward. And we can use the immersive engineering plates, right? Which are pretty good. But the gold chest, there's no immersive engineering gold plates. So we actually need the industrial craft forge hammer or a metal former to pull this off. I think the other items require even more resources, if I'm not mistaken. So for every single one of these plates, it's going to require 2 gold ingots, which means it's 16 gold just to make this golden chest. Yikes. Oh, that gave us 40. Oops, I forgot, doubled. Ha ha ha. That's fine. Let's start making the 4 gears that we need to make out of bronze. I hope that they're bronze. Yeah, they're bronze. Okay, good. I'm just going to do this part manually, and then we're going to swap in the ingot cast and get those switched out, because we really don't need to have too many gears or anything like that this early on. So that'll be that. Let's then... Gold can't mix with that, so we'll get the gold fired up. That should start to smelt up. And that's our 4 gears. Good. We'll put the gear ingot casting in there, and then we'll just turn this on. And it should automatically start to pour out the bronze that we do have in the system. Now, I can speed this up as well by clicking on the casting basin over here. That should pour out 9 at a time and give us a block of bronze. Very useful, very helpful overall. I decided to go with a 3x3 model on purpose, just because of size and all that kind of stuff. That was the only reason, really. Oh, good, we got 2 different types of bronze. Alright, that's a thing. Okay. No big deal there. Let's get some of it. We needed only 4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure this is the one we get more so in the pack, if I remember correctly. And then our gold should almost be smelted. It is smelted right now. And that should automatically start to go into there as well. Good. So the first things first, we need to get the sturdy casing. So let's craft that guy up. Boom, boom, boom. Good. This here is by Crafting Tweaks. I've added this myself. It's a client-side mod that basically what you can do is you can start to, so if you do like this and put the rest there and click this button, it will automatically distribute it throughout the crafting grid. There's a couple other things too, like if you have that, you can rotate things around. So if you accidentally place things in the wrong spot, all that kind of stuff. Very useful, very helpful overall. And there's a few other things that I'll probably show you guys a little bit later on. Let's get some of the gold that we need, and let's start working on the next step. So we're going to need 8 and 16 total. Yeah. And then we're also going to need to make the IC2 hammer, which is gold and 2 treated sticks. Okay, 2 treated sticks is quite easy for us at this point in time, but we're also going to need 5 iron for that. Rip iron already, am I right? So we'll do that, and that'll give us the industrial craft hammer. Now, I'm still going to grab the immersive engineering hammer to hammer down these first 8, because it only requires 1 ingot per. Very helpful overall. Let's quickly get a chest, like so, and make it an iron chest. Good. And then we need to hammer these guys down. Sadly, that's so expensive, but what can you do, right? That and that is going to give us the gold chest. And then we need 4 more gold. We have 3 there. Let's just run over to the smeltery and grab it. That bed is in the absolute worst spot right now. The worst. The worst spot. It's fine, though. We'll just walk around it for now. So, a little bit of that, some sturdy casing, a gold chest, and then we need a little bit of glass, and that should give us our thermionic fabricator. Beautiful. Now, the problem that we have is all of our power is currently going into our auto sieve, and it's working quite nicely. It's getting us resources, which is fantastic, but I wouldn't mind tapping in to one of these guys and using it for other things. So let's quickly grab our crescent wrench, and I want to place this like this, and we're going to set this so that it can't accept items, just like that. Good. And let's wrench this so it's facing down on the thermionic fabricator when we want to use it. Is it accepting power? It is. Okay, good. Excellent. Now, what do we need that for? Well, we need that because we need to get an assembly table. This is something that we need to work on. We can already get that, but the problem that we're going to have is the laser. The laser requires some diamantine electron tubes, so we need a little bit of glass. Let's just use up these glass panes for now. Good. Those should start to smelt. And let's get 5 diamonds and 2 redstone out and get this guy ready to go. So we'll go like that. The 2 redstone like that. And boom, there's our diamantine electron tubes. Now I'm just going to swap that back. The problem being the thermionic fabricator will continually drain power to keep the liquid glass in its system. Now, I did waste a little bit of glass there. That's a bit of a shame. But I'm not going to get too worked up about it. So, now we need to make the laser. So, we need 5 redstone and 2 obsidian. I believe I have a little bit of obsidian here. We are going to go crazy. We're going to go so crazy and make 2 lasers. Oh boy, I know, right? Getting crazy up in here. Very good. And next is we're going to make an assembly table. This guy's going to require 6 more obsidian and a diamond gear, which means we need a gold gear. Okay. So 4 gold in here, like so. And we will swap this out to be the gear cast, and that can automatically pour. Then we're going to need 5 more diamonds. What did I say? Running out of diamonds much? I know. And basically we need a little bit of obsidian. So we'll pour that out and click a few of these. Get some obsidian going. Very easy to do with this setup. And we have the water running to the end. And that works nice as well. Sort of. These tend to... they can glitch out a little bit. So do be careful with that. But in the meantime, let's just remove the water. As you can see, the textures are kind of glitching a little bit. And the lava's probably going to do the same thing. There you go. See? But we did get 21 obsidian pretty darn quickly. That's probably the best way to go if you can afford it. So we need 6 obsidian total. We'll put the rest away for now. And let's grab our gold gear. Should be done. Good. And let's make our assembly table. Now, we really do not have the power capabilities to power this assembly table at all. And a piece of redstone. Good. So, that is going to be a whole nother ball of wax. I think for right now, we'll put it over here, I guess. Probably just nice and discreet and away from everything is what I'm thinking. I'm not going to be too concerned about where everything goes quite yet. We're going to have to tweak a lot of it as we go. So, that is that. We have the lasers good to go. we really need to get some sort of power connection. And we can use the immersive engineering lines. Now, we could go straight to MV, but that's a little expensive. LV, it's kind of the same, you know? It's really kind of the same. Okay, so we're back here, and basically what we're going to do, as you can see, I've removed all of the hobbyist steam engines from here. And the reason being is it's time to kind of move them around a little bit. And the main reason being, well, we need to now power more than just one item. And that is the major concern here. So we're kind of a little bit more restricted in what we can do. I'm just trying to plan out a little bit here, and I'm thinking we need to go like this, just off the top of my head. We're going to use some wooden kinesis pipes, just like this, to connect all of those together. Now, this is part of the problem. The hopper and the sieve will have to move. And it's not a huge deal at all, but it was just something I was trying to see if I could do it without them moving. And we could actually potentially now make it even more, well, better and more optimized. So we have these guys, and you know what? Let's change this. I'm already changing my mind yet again. So we will put these like this, the wooden pipes. These are required as they connect to the pumps themselves, all right? The next step that we're going to do, we need to get water in all of these. So it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to run water just like that. Pretty much a straight shot over to the hobbyist steam engines, and we're good to go. From there, we need to connect that with some sort of power line. Now, I've only made cobblestone ones before. Now, let's see. What other ones could we make? Those only transfer 80 RF per tick. Now, understandably so, we're only making at most 80. But we could just go with stone, which would give us a little bit more of a leeway. You know, it's the thing. Let's go with these guys here. They'll connect. That's fine. And then let's go with stone for the rest. You know what, though? I don't have any glass. I don't want to cook any up. Let's just go with the stone for now. Yeah, we'll go with the stone for now. I think that'll be fine. We have the redstone. It's not a huge deal if it doesn't work out for us. Okay, so those will be like that. So now this is all connected together. Now, basically what we need is we need a way to kind of centralize our power. And what I think we're going to do for that is we're going to look at some capacitors. And capacitors are pretty good from immersive engineering. Oh boy, everybody just quit IRC apparently. LV capacitors. There we go. It's a little bit of iron, some copper, a piece of lead, which I haven't done yet, and some treated wood planks. So 3 of you, a piece of lead, hey? Okay. We may have... Yeah, we got some right here. Good. That means I don't need to hammer anything or you name it. We can just smelt it and get it done. We should have more than enough copper in here. 44 to be exact. I should probably just grab this bronze out of there as well. The other ingot in there is the aluminum brass used for other things, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that guy. So we'll do that. We need at least 2 copper. Good. And the rest is lead, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just get this lead going. I hope you guys are still loving the series. I am having a blast on both series overall. It's really been a lot of fun. That was 10 minutes. Okay, we're still fine. So what I'm thinking is we'll put a capacitor basically right on top of this. And that will allow us to connect over to the lasers here quite easily, as well as some of the other things too. So let's get a little bit of dust going. We need 12. 12 of you to connect in to here. We'll get the clay. Now, because we have the transfer node on here, it should fill up pretty quickly. There we go. Fill up again, please. Alright. It's not going that fast. It's really not going that fast. I think our lead's already done. I guess I'll get the clay going here. And yeah, I only need 2 more pieces. So we'll just do 2 more pieces. Not a big deal. Come on, hurry up. Very good. And 1 more. Can I speed it up a little bit? It's just not updating. You can see actually up in Wayla when it says water. So it's saying empty, and then it'll say water. And it's not actually updating the oak barrel fast enough. That is very interesting to see. So that's kind of interesting. I may report that, but that could be a mod-related issue that we may not have any control over. So I'm going to start smelting up that to get some hardened clay. Let's go quickly grab the lead. Good. We got 2. That'll work. Very nice. We'll put 1 in there, and let's make our LV capacitor. Beautiful. Now this guy should do the job that we need it to do for now. So we can put that like that. And of course that's not going to work, is it? Of course it's not. Let's put it right here then. Now we do need to get our immersive engineering hammer here. That Coven Witch is making her rounds around my stuff. So we'll tap this because that'll mean a blue. Blue is input. Okay. So now all of the power is going to be input into here. The next step is for us to get the cabling, and that's going to require this hardened clay. Perfect timing. Thank you very much. And a whole bunch of copper. Then we're also going to need a treated stick or a few. So first things first, we run the copper down the middle with like that, and that's going to give us some LV wire connectors. Very useful items. And then the next item that we need is the LV wire to connect them all together. So these 2 things together should do the job for us to connect everything, hopefully. Now, I'm not exactly positive how much the LV wire can do for transmission of power, but we might as well get a few achievements while we're on the board, right? And just for a little bit of copper, no big deal. Let's get 1 more of you. That should be enough for now. And we need to set up our auto sifter again. Let's see if that is the output. What if we go there? Okay, that'll work. We can put the transfer node there. We can put the LV capacitor there. Again, we may need to upgrade this to an MV, but we may not also have enough power. So I'm not going to get too worked up about it. So that'll go like that. That'll connect in. Very nice. We did lose some power in the whole process here when I did have to, or no, I did wait for it all to empty out. Okay, last but not least, we just need to set up these guys to start running again. And for that, we need some more charcoal. So let me get this going. Server's about to restart, and that should work quite nicely. So I'm going to throw these in. We're basically at restart time. I'll be back once we're done on the restart, and we'll go from there. Alright, so the server just came back up basically, and these guys are starting to produce some power. And as you can see, the LV capacitor is starting to raise up. Now, we're not getting power over here though. Why is that? I'm pretty sure... Oh. That needs to be orange. There we go. The LV capacitor is emptying out. So the lasers should be filling up. They're buffers. You can see it up in Wayla. You're not getting a ton of power, but, you know, 1400 at a time type thing. And this guy should be getting a very small, minute amount of power at this point in time, at least until these kick up. Now, it looks like I could maybe add 1 more hobbyist there, but I don't want to rely on this too much over time because we're really going to outgrow it, hopefully pretty darn quickly. The last but not least, I guess we could do a breaker switch? Yeah, breaker switch, lever, copper, hardened clay. Okay. We can do that. Leather, hardened clay, and a piece of copper. Okay. We'll do a breaker switch here. And what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to toggle our thermionic fabricator. Alright. Now, the main reason for this, well, it sucks up energy, right? So, we can set up this breaker switch right here, for example. And let's get a little bit of LV wire. Good. And we can connect this straight to the breaker switch. And what this is going to mean is all I have to do is flip that switch, and we should start to see power come in, or vice versa. Disabled. Yeah. So basically that should allow us to trigger on and off that item. And yeah, overall, pretty darn good. Now again, our sieve is really sacrificing right now. Once these lasers do fill up though, it should assist overall. Now, I mean, there's so many things that the lasers are required for. I mean, the redstone chipset is just the basics, let alone advancing in other things throughout the entire mod pack, like the QED. You know, and we could look at maybe the furnace generator now. Get a few furnaces and in-var gear. Maybe that's something we could do. Improve on our systems, right? Equally, that will allow us to get some leadstone flux ducts, which will allow us to, you know, process a decent amount of RF. And we can do that with some immersive engineering plates, a piece of glass, and we're good to go. Hardened, a little bit harder. We're not quite there yet. And there's a few other things that we can start to look at getting over time. Some of these are still way too much expensive, but it is a great start to our journey here. So I'm thinking we should try that furnace generator out. I may give it a quick little go on the live stream and see what it's like. So that's full now, so then we should start to see more power coming into here, which we are. Good. And these guys aren't even... Well, I guess they are fully heated up, aren't they? Why are they going so slow? I guess they got to build up power in them to go quicker. So that's good. And then we should get back to the same kind of state that we were before on our sifter and whatnot. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken... Redstone chipset is 100,000 RF. That is not a little amount. Not a little amount at all. Especially early on like this. So, we're probably going to venture on. I'm going to need to make 2 of them. So, I'll probably make 2 of these guys, get things prepped for the live stream. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode overall. I've been having a lot of fun making this episode. I feel like we've accomplished a lot. And that's saying quite a bit. So we have 6 nickel. Let's do 12 iron. And that's going to get us some in-var going. Oh, yeah. Just like that. We're going to make it not automated. Now we're rolling in the power. You can hear the engines kicking up. This guy should be gaining, I think. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. I think that's... Yeah, it should start to gain, or very close to gain. You may get a little bit of loss in the wires and everything. But anyways, that's it for us. Have a fantastic day, and take it easy. Bye-bye for now. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Bye-bye.